If you smell cinnamon in the deep woods, run fast. It doesn't mean campfire pies or somebody's trail mix spilled. It means the thing that hunts here has noticed you. I used to laugh when old-timers warned about scents like apple pie, lilac, hot sugar on the windless nights here. 32 searches later, I don't laugh at anything out here. My name is Mark Hanlon, volunteer SAR, County North District. I know those ridges the way, dear, no fences there. I've never hallucinated, never drank on duty, never panicked once. Believe me or not, but write this down anyway tonight. Cinnamon is the lie your brain wants to believe first. Your grandmother's kitchen, churros at fairs, holiday candles, safe memories. Out here, that exact smell appears where cinnamon never grows. It rides still air, pools and hollows, sticks everywhere quietly. That's the first contrast you must accept to survive here. The woods want you relaxed. The woods want you running. Both serve the thing that leaves cinnamon where it waits. We have rules now. Hard-earned, staying in a pocket cards, everyone. Rule 1. Do not say your name out loud alone. Names stick to the smell like burrs to socks forever. Rule 2. Do not follow cinnamon upslope after sunset ever. It shepherds you toward deadfall, where radios die completely early. Rule 3. If you cough cinnamon, keep moving downhill immediately. That's not allergies. That's how it tags your lungs directly. I learned these rules after the Caldwell night, February 2nd. He was 26, weekend soloist, strong legs, always courteous enough. His girlfriend called after midnight. Voicemail saying something about churros. We pinged his phone and drove out with thermals humming. There was no wind, yet pine needles moved backwards slowly. The trail smelled like a pantry knocked over during earthquakes. Lena was new then, good boots, serious eyes, fast learner. She whispered that cinnamon means someone baked, then stopped talking. Even whispers feel louder when everything else refuses to rustle. We tracked Caldwell by the mud scoops his saws carved. His path circled the same hemlock, 3 full revolutions first. The bark there was braided like hair, fresh and damp. He'd tied his laces together and kept walking, stumbling clockwise. The cinnamon thickened until it tasted like red-hot candy shards. I thought about camp cafeterias and bit my own tongue. Lena squeezed my sleeve twice. Wolves use cinnamon in folk tales. We called Caldwell's name, then remembered rule 1, stop cold. He answered anyway. Voice behind us, though prints ahead continued. It said, churros, like someone smiling through broken molars nearby. We turn only for bears, firearms, or falling trees usually. Still, I pivoted because something touched my pack from behind. Nothing there, except heatless breath that smelled like bakery vents. I told Lena to mark trees and drop pennies steadily. Copper carries sweat, and sweat carries whoever you are outward. It's a trick, not a shield, but sometimes enough distraction. Caldwell's prints finally left the loop and arrowed downhill shakily. We found his headlamp stuck high in alder branches overhead. That means climbing or being lifted. He hated climbing alone. Radio check. Nothing but our own static hanging nearby heavy. Then the cinnamon snapped off like someone closed Tupperware lids. The forest made noise again, and frogs resumed complaining softly. We found Caldwell, sitting in the creek, smiling warmly upward. His boots were bloated and his socks were missing completely. He said, "You got my churros," like a child sleepwalking. We coaxed him out and walked him towards staging slowly. 50 yards later, he bled from his nose bright threads. His tongue was bitten deep like he'd swallowed cinnamon glass. He never remembered the loop, just warmth and cookies everywhere. That was the first and the gentlest encounter we'd had. After Caldwell, the cards went out to every deputy volunteer. We added salt packets, copper coins, and a whistle each. We practiced turning without looking when someone used names deliberately. Lena learned fastest, which mattered more than I admitted later. She could smell the difference between bakery and bait instantly. Bakery comforts. Bait remembers you and moves when you move. I told her that once and wished I hadn't afterward, because the thing that listens loves hearing us describe it. It pushes the cinnamon through stones like breath through teeth. It sets it under bridges where shadows always arrive early. It makes old maps wrong and compasses sulk at dawn. You'll want evidence because you are smart and skeptical too. I wanted evidence once and got footprints circling backwards uphill. The plaster casts cracked like candy before they set fully. A drone lost altitude when Cinnamon fogged the gimbal lenses. A dog refused commands and sat facing a boulder whimpering. We make do with rules, which is evidence enough here. Meanwhile, the county keeps issuing permits and trail brochures hopeful. The brochure shows ferns and families. It omits Cinnamon entirely. That's contrast. The picture your brain wants stays printed forever. The picture the woods want only appears inside lungs suddenly. Last week, the smell reached town during a parade unexpectedly. Burlap booze, kettle corn, kids sticky, marching band practice echoing. I caught it between corn dogs and my marrow chilled instantly. Cinnamon shouldn't outrun diesel and brass and frying oil anywhere. It did, threading through everything, heading west into timber calmly. We left the parade and followed, pretending we were shopping. It led toward the old logging road, the washed one. There we found Evelyn's Subaru parked, window cracked, open slightly. Evelyn teaches second grade. She hikes to quiet headaches sometimes. Her voicemail later said, "It smells cozy, then static only." We signed the sheet, radioed dispatch, and went in together. The light felt wrong, a little warmer than daylight should. Cinnamon pulsed like a heartbeat every time we paused anywhere. A jay screamed once, then forgot how to scream again. We found blue thread on bark and a glove nearby. Then something scraped wood ahead, slow, deliberate like weaving looms. The scraping wasn't wind, and it wasn't a bear. It repeated in a rhythm that felt practiced, like a broom dragged across a gym floor between slow songs. Lena raised a finger without looking at me and mouthed, "Listen." The cinnamon thickened again, sweeter, and my molars ached like I'd bitten foil. We edged forward until the old skid road pinched between alders. A lattice of peeled sticks crossed the path, woven loosely, fresh sap still bleeding. In its center lay a mitten, small and blue, adult size, damp at the cuff. Evelyn's brand. We'd seen that pattern before today. I told myself we were early enough to beat whatever pushed that smell. But the lattice was a posture, the way a spider leaves broken threads to look harmless. "Don't touch," Lena whispered, even though I was already fishing a coin. "Copper first." I rolled a penny across a stick. It hummed like tapping a fence over distant bees and slid to the edge and fell. The mitten twitched. I don't exaggerate. It twitched toward the west, the same direction the cinnamon moved. Something on the other side tugged the cuff once, testing tension like checking a snare. We waited. From the ditch came that scraping again, longer, deeper, and the sticks flexed as if the ground itself took a breath. Lena nodded at the glove bag. I opened it, pulled out nitrile, and slid my hands in, then took a salt packet in my teeth. "On my count," I said, though neither of us wanted to count anything. I tossed salt over the lattice. The smell faltered, not gone but stuttering, like a candle in a vent. We cut the side strings with my knife and dragged the frame aside. The mitten didn't resist. The woods did. We noticed. Branches upslope leaned downhill as if they'd been waiting to fall on us for years, and finally received the signal. We moved, not running, never running on first push, hands brushing bark to leave skin and take some with us. Behind, the lattice knit itself again, slower, quieter, the sticks bending like something shy about being seen. I pocketed the mitten. It was warm. Evelyn's scent wrote it. Soap and pencil shavings beneath the cinnamon's drown. "She's alive," Lena said, like a dare to whatever listens. The air answered by tasting hotter. The memory of ovens turned to flesh. We kept moving. The creek ahead braided across gravel like silver thread. That is where you win, if anywhere. Water doesn't hold cinnamon well, and sound returns. We slid into the riffles and let the current steal our heat and weight. The smell thinned and the world widened. A thrush tried a phrase and failed twice, then got it right. We searched bars for small prints and found only our own. Then, under a hemlock root, a smear of blue yarn. Not mitten, but the same factory dye. It disappeared toward a culvert mouth shaped like a yawning coin. We slid closer carefully. Here is the part you'll doubt, because I doubted while it happened. The culvert breathed out. It exhaled cinnamon, not a scent but a temperature shift carrying memory. And with it, a whisper, not Evelyn's, not anyone's, just an arrangement of warmth that felt like a word. Home! Lena gripped my sleeve and shook her head. We put pennies on the grate and watched each copper circle spin, wobble, and stop with all dates facing up. Not chance. The water inside went the wrong direction, drew pebbles inward, scraped metal against stone in that loom rhythm again. We backed away. We circled to the second crossing, where the creek vanished under roots and emerged 30 yards downstream. If something dragged her beneath, it would surface there or laugh at us from another drain. We split eyes, not bodies, that trick where you move together but pretend you aren't. I kept talk small, weather, fuel, how parades always mean lost kids and hot dogs. Lena answered in nods. The cinnamon moved past us, up the slope instead of down, as if whatever carried it could ignore gradient. Tag, Lena mouthed, then coughed once, brief and dry, and went very still. There! I saw it in the cold before she did. Not a shadow, not a shape, more like a heat mirage in the trees, a place where the vertical lines bent gently toward her face. Her breath fogged wrong, and the next inhale made her eyes water. She swallowed and shook her head like a swimmer. Salt, I said, hand out. She slapped the packet into her palm and tore it with her teeth, spilling crystals over her tongue. The cinnamon recoiled, a muscle spasm in the air. A voice tried my name twice, the second time softer, my mother's cadence. I didn't answer, though everything in me leaned toward that sound, because contrast is older than language. Hunger dressed as kindness. Rescue flavored like holidays. We moved as if stepping out of a family photograph, careful not to smudge the edges. The current hissed. Something upstream scraped again. A small blue shape bumped against Lena's boot. Not a mitten, a knitted headband, stretched and frayed. Evelyn's or anyone's. It smelled like shampoo under the cinnamon. That particular floral note kids like because it promises detangling without tears. She's upstream, Lena breathed. Where it wants her to be, I said. We waited. We had a choice like always out here. Obey the trail logic that says follow sign, or obey the rule book that says trust the opposite of comfort. We went opposite. We moved downstream, slow, and left the headband anchored on a twig as a register for anything passing that wasn't water. 15 steps later we heard running footsteps, human cadence, and a sob stuck to the cadence like gum to a shoe. Evelyn stumbled into view, hair plastered to her forehead, lips pale, eyes unfocused. It's warm, she said, and grinned through chattering teeth, and kept walking past us. Upstream. She brushed between us like a sleepwalker headed for a heater. We didn't say her name. Ma'am, Lena tried, low and even, the way you talk to a skittish horse. No blink. No pause. She kept smiling at whatever warmth the slope promised. I stepped in her path and let the creek push against my shins. Cold first, I said, and took her wrist. It burned. Not hot like fever. Hot like a stovetop forgotten under a pot. Trust me, I added, because kindness is a better lure than orders. She followed that voice into the water, still smiling, cinnamon pulsing. The creek bit her calves, and her grin faltered, then cracked, then dropped off her face like thawed ice. Her pupils found us. It's warm up there, she said, hoarse, as if the sentence didn't fit her throat. We didn't answer the promise. Lena sprinkled salt into Evelyn's palm, and then her own, and we both sucked air through grit until our tongues hurt. The cinnamon retreated to the banks, sulking, coating fern tips. From up the draw, the loom scrape resumed. Faster now, a shuttle angry at its pattern. Downhill, I said. Stay in the water. No names. Keep moving. We slid, ankles numbed, shivering into competence. The sticks along the trail paralleled us, weaving and unweaving, always trying to be innocent when we looked. A whisper practiced my mother's voice, then Lena's, then Evelyn's own, offering blankets, porch lights, cinnamon toast. We answered with splashes. At the ford, the smell surged and tried one more shape. A doorway of branches ahead, Crossbar low, jams sappy, dark beyond warmer than noon. Evelyn leaned. I let go of her wrist and blew the whistle hard. The note came out ragged but pure. The doorway shook like a heat mirage and tore. Behind it, no room, no den, just the slope and the absence where something had been pretending to be downhill. The cinnamon blew past us, headed up slope as if in retreat or regrouping. Don't celebrate, Lena said, teeth chattering. Not till asphalt. We kept to the water until the culvert at the road sang in a lower key and the metal smelled like pennies in summer. At staging, Evelyn cried without sound, like her body had forgotten how to attach voice to water. The medic wrapped her in silver and asked her name. She didn't answer. We didn't either yet. Later, when paperwork tried to turn the day into boxes and radio times, I washed my hands and they still smelled like bakery air. Evelyn slept. Lena stared at the tree line as if waiting for it to blink. You can't tell them? She asked. They'll put up signs. I shook my head. Signs make comfort. Comfort makes cinnamon. We write rules instead. If you smell it, don't argue with memory. Get to the nearest water. Keep your name quiet. Salt your tongue. Go downhill until the breeze smells like diesel and brakes. Then keep going because you were tagged.